Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. My guest in studio this morning is, in fact, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Indeed.
And good morning, Nigeria.
And you're going to be with us, for throughout the entire, program. We're going to start off in Anambra.
Okay.
Because the election is threatened, according to INEC, if complications from courts continue to hamper their work. That's on the one hand. And then later on, we'll be talking about Miyetti Allah's response to the Emir of Muri in Taraba State, and we'll be looking at developments from there. That's a bit, a lot of people, we'll see how you receive the news alongside how everybody else received the news. Now, in our Abuja studio, we have Mr. Ralph Oke-Nwosu, who is National Chairman of African Democratic Congress, ADC. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you for making time for us.
Thank you very much, Yori. Good morning.
Indeed. Now,
good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you. No doubt you've heard the news, you've heard the complaint of INEC, and in fact, INEC is apprehensive, worried. It hasn't said that, nothing is going to happen, but it has hinted that events, especially litigation, might actually compromise the, successful running of the election on schedule. Give me your thoughts on this situation.
The election timetable has been drawn as far as INEC and Anambra people and Nigerians are concerned. We must follow that schedule, irrespective of the challenges we may have. But for me, it's time that the agencies of government, for purpose of the current challenges facing our democracy, and for discipline in the system, for them to show discipline on their own part, to be able to align things. The political parties had since January, when INEC released its timetable, to make their preparation. So what we are seeing is, indiscipline in the case of party running, and then some people who think that democracy is all about power grabbing and trading. It's for the judiciary and all other agencies to bring discipline to the system. And bringing discipline to the system, for instance, I see a lot of frivolous cases in the court. Our court should be able to punish political parties. If we don't go like that, the parties and the so-called greedy stakeholders are going to cause problems for our democracy. If one state election is going this way, and both INEC and the institutions of the judiciary and so on allow this to continue, you can imagine when we will have 36 states of the federation having an election, not only for 30-something governors, but for almost 1,000 and something seats. They're going to derail this democracy.
Yes, but
so this is the time that the judiciary should be able to hold the hammer and hit it hard.
Okay.
Put discipline in the system. The Nigerian nation is going down.
Well, as you said,
and I know that the forefathers of Anambra, people like Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, will not tolerate this. Too much indiscipline in the system.
Well, can you understand INEC's position, because INEC positions itself as a law-abiding organization that is bound by court, judgments, rulings, pronouncements, and that kind of a thing. INEC is not going to be able to ignore. In fact, INEC itself has very much said what you have just said, appealing to the judiciary generally to sort of clean up their act, because INEC, being a creature of law and being law-abiding, cannot poo-poo anything that comes from the court, no matter what personal feelings are. So it is in that context, against the backdrop of what you just said, that the timetable has been set. This is what INEC has also said through its spokesperson, that it takes time, it takes organization, and this stop-start kind of a thing, it really is putting them in jeopardy.
Thank you. I must appreciate INEC. I must commend INEC very, very well. They have done serious work and followed due diligence. But I just wish that they should be able to continue and go all the way. When they push the way they are, because if you have given the organization, the political parties, 6 months, more than 6 months to prepare, and up till now, they are not able to align with the timetable you've set, which has been there, then show public policy making and acting it out does not expect that you wait for the political parties. When the other agencies of government, when they see that the consistency of INEC, I bet you the courts will see the danger confronting our democracy at this point, and they will come out to save the country. Because if we continue to allow this type of rascality in political parties, INEC as an institution cannot hold the general election, where almost 1,000 and something seats and contenders are going to be there.
Indeed.
So I appreciate INEC, what they've done so far. They must remain steady. Don't allow yourself to be intimidated by the so-called parties that are carrying around big money, billions of naira, and so on. The state governorship is not for sale.
Okay. One moment, sir. Let me get the comments of Alhaji Abdul Aziz, Hassan Abdul Aziz Sani, communications expert. This thing that is going on in the case of the Anambra election, actually it has applications all over the place, not just in Anambra, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is happening in Anambra should be a matter of concern to all of us. Anambra is part and parcel of Nigeria. Anambra are going through a political process in Nigeria. And it has to do with the politics, the people, and the INEC. All the states of Nigeria are involved in this. We have contestants all over the country. We have political parties all over the country. We have the INEC to superintend the conduct of the election all over the country. So what is happening in Anambra is something that has happened to all of us. We should be able to say something, because when you see something, say something. It will help you. What I'm seeing in Anambra today is this. It has to do with two contending forces: the contestants and the political parties. Here, the INEC is neutral. INEC is like a referee trying to whip everybody to the line, in the sense that INEC raised concern by this their commissioner, Festus Okoye.
Yes.
And what he said was nothing but the truth. He said it to them, that look, this multiplicity of litigations, this frequency of litigation is a threat to the powers of INEC. It's an impediment to the timeliness of the INEC to conduct an election, because INEC don't want to be seen as anti-law. And in democracy, we all knew the supremacy of law is all over. It is supreme. Supremacy of law over the whole consideration. You cannot be in INEC not taking the instructions of the court. And let me remind each and every one of us one thing, one salient point made by Mr. Festus Okoye. He said, we gave code to the party leaders to upload and list their candidates. But some people went around and go manual by submitting their own manually without going through the portal. And they now use the documents submitted manually to go and seek justice in the court of law. What an aberration. And you now see the complication here. I'm not here to hold brief for the party chairman. I'm not here to hold brief for the contestants. What I'm trying to see here is to maintain a balance. Balance in the sense that whatsoever we are going to do, we should dance to the rules of the game.
Well, there seems to be this difficulty in all the political parties, I would venture. Maybe, actually, one could lose one's head over that. But these intrigue, shenanigans, the chairman has referred to them. He used a particular word in referring to all those people who have, very, very deep pockets and are using it in the way that it is being used. Because all of these logistics and all, it costs money. And there are some people willing to put it on the ground. And INEC finds itself caught in the middle now. So isn't it, Mr. Chair, maybe I should bring this back to you. Mr. Nwosu, maybe I should bring this back to you. What is the difficulty in, whipping, so to speak, for lack of a better expression, whipping everybody into line and people feeling free to not adhere to party discipline? That's the context in which I said we have seen instances of this in other parties as well. How difficult a problem is it, in your party? And give me an assessment of that particular problem.
Thank you. For the party, the African Democratic Congress, we have our set of DNAs, and our DNA creates the discipline and responsibility for us. So we are very much unlike most of these other parties in Nigeria. But
when you say, did you say DNA?
To help INEC and to help the system. That's where
Mr. Nwosu, did you say DNA?
National Assembly should come in.
DNA.
Unfortunately, we have a National Assembly that are too attached to their own political parties and their own whims.
Okay.
You can see what is happening in Anambra State, for instance. Some of the contestants are members of the National Assembly, and people who are in government feel they can do anything. Feel they can, this has to do with members in the executive, members at the National Assembly, and so on. When people get into government and they think that government is about rascality and having your way, however you want it, it diminishes the democracy. This is not the democracy some of us fought for. We fought for this democracy to have a constitutional process that brings discipline and bring alignment to public policy and dividends for the people. Unfortunately, I don't want to mention names of parties, but we have critically two major parties in Nigeria. They have enriched themselves with the common cause, the common purse of the people, and because of this tremendous wealth, they think they can control all agencies, all courts, all police, and so on, and they cause problems. But I want to appeal. Our democracy is still evolving, but for 20-something years, by now, we should be stabilizing. But National Assembly, when we go through this line, it's important that you pick the picture and try to ease the work of the agencies that are working. At a point, if we are contesting an election and we don't show discipline, let us have some legislation to even sanction political parties and the contestants. If political leaders are not showing discipline, how can they lead? And these are supposed to be the moral force of society. National Assembly should come to life. These are the kind of things they should pick. I mean, INEC, for instance, is overwhelmed. How much do they have to pay all these lawyers? Because for each of the cases that go to court, INEC will have to send lawyers. You are running down the public purse. Let's save our country.
Mr. Wosu, how much of this...
for instance, 3 political parties, I have continuously said, should be immediately banned from the system. Not our fathers in Anambra State, not our fathers in Anambra State will tolerate them. If Nnamdi Azikiwe was alive today, he won't tolerate them. If Ojukwu was alive today, he won't tolerate them. If Ekweme was alive today, he won't tolerate this kind of rascality coming from the state where they are from. And
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to get
effect for the ecosystem.
Mr. Chairman,
the National Assembly must come alive.
All right, Mr. Chair, how much do you think the unwritten, as it is called, the unwritten sort of understanding for power to move to Anambra South, how much do you think that is contributing to the crisis? Because the candidate, I believe, is not from that place. In fact, he's from Anambra Central. This is where former Governor Obi also came from. So how much do you think all of that is contributing to the current crisis, or is that a red herring? The agreement in the state for the power for the next governor to come from Anambra South is clearly, well understood, and I can assure you, the people of Anambra completely are sold into that. Any individuals who are doing otherwise are just maybe they have so much resources to throw away. Yeah,
but
the ADC candidate is from Central.
No, the ADC candidate is from the South. He's a brilliant chap from the South.
He's from the South. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I was asking how much this is contributing to the crisis, or whether that was just an issue to distract everybody. Or are you sort of would you acknowledge that that is something of a nut that you are still busy trying to crack?
No. That, as a matter of fact, made the field a lot better, because Adjumin is a campaign that we are seeing everybody in. You will see more than 100 persons who are ready to throw around millions and billions, and you will see a lot more problems. But okay. Anambra elders and traditional rulers and religious leaders sat together and say, come, for a quality transition, and for us to speak and live what we believe in. That is good. It started from the north, and after the north, the central had it. After the central had it, it started from the south, then the central, and then the incumbent now is from the north. My party was the first party who came out and said, come, this tradition is good. Let's maintain it. No other party was bold enough to say that, but all the traditional rulers, all the religious leaders, all the critical stakeholders in Anambra say, come, this way of transition is good. Let's maintain it. So that is, as a matter of fact, that a single thing that Anambra people adopted has helped the situation. You will have seen more than 100 people who feel that they can buy the governor, they can desecrate the court, they can influence INEC because they have so much money. And it's funny. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe fought for the independence of this country, and he wasn't moving around as somebody who has so much money. If it's for money, he wouldn't have done it. And he achieved so much. Unfortunately, you have so much young people now who have, one way or the other, benefited from the corruption in the culture to now feel that this is the way things must go. But it's now the job of National Assembly, it's now the job of the court to teach these people a lesson and put discipline and responsibility in the process. Nation building requires discipline. Nation building requires responsible people who are ready to think deep and who are ready to make sacrifice. People like me, I've been in this system for how long? More than 20 years. And I see myself as a missionary. When you come from point of being a missionary in this process, you are doing well. And that the leadership we are putting in ADC, creating the enabling processes and setting up the DNA, clear values for national leadership. That's what other parties are supposed to be doing. But because they have taken so much from the nation, from the states, and so on, everybody now has become a rock of Gibraltar.
Okay.
It's for national. So I want to appeal to the judiciary to save the situation.
Okay.
Otherwise, our democracy is challenged.
Okay. Well,
they must save that situation.
I want to thank you very much for making time for us, because you ended up putting it where exactly, as far as I could understand it, Mr. Festus Okoye on behalf of INEC put it as well, that the judiciary needs to sort itself out on this whole matter. Maybe the NBA needs to get in on the matter so that there's a common understanding and understanding the way INEC works, and the fact that INEC is not able to really reject any pronouncement of the courts, and this is complicating matters, but it is a device, perhaps, that is being used by those who have their own motives. So you'll be sort of saying that INEC should stand firm, right? Stand firm, see what it can do, as well as the judiciary and all concerned parties, to say that, look, there's a process here, let's not desecrate it.
Yeah, I can tell you 100%, and I can tell you that 100%, and INEC has been doing a good job. I appeal to INEC, don't shake, take responsible action, and move on. Anambra people, the common men and women of Anambra State are with you. Move on.
All right then, thank you.
Forget the braggadocio of people who feel that money can buy everything, or that they have so much power.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Because
Nwosu.
of their connections.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nwosu, for joining us this morning. Mr. Ralph Okoye-Nwosu, National Chairman of African Democratic Congress, ADC. Thank you very much for coming on our program this morning. Okay.
I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. There you are. Maybe we can just get in a couple of calls on this, because I imagine they would have been listening in Anambra as well, and all over the country, because as you are saying, what's going on in Anambra concerns, quite frankly, everybody. It applies to all states, because Anambra, yeah, they do have pot loads of this stuff, I understand, but then it's not unique in that particular regard. So before anybody else begins to say that, look, my pot loads of money measures up and I can pull some. So it's just, people need to understand.
It applies to all the politicians throughout the country.
That is the...
What they have, anytime they go to contest, they set aside huge amount of money, you understand, to buy people, to buy votes. And this is undemocratic. We knew all over the country.
Let me take Mazi Okorafo, who has called in from Arochukwu.
From Arochukwu.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning again, sir.
Yes.
You see, my main concern this morning is that Anambra State politics I've just turned to politics of commotion and confusion. Now, since I'm from a state, now what we want to ask my brother who have been speaking through this guy, from Abuja studio. Why is it that in Anambra State, some group cannot just let us wait for another turn. In as much as you say you soon. At the end of the day, the umbrella or the carcass will scatter everything before the completion of any regime. Now, the way the politics are going there now is not healthy. You saw what happened with Soludo when he went for campaign, assassination attempts. Now, is it healthy? Now, why is it that people there are just so desperate? You must can't you wait? These are young men with at least we have up to 50 years or 40 years ahead by the grace of God. Why grumbling and why killing yourself? Because the area that happens, what is happening in Anambra, does it happen in any northern states? It doesn't happen. This was the job that I must. It's not here. That is not politics. Because if the politicians there, they have the interest of the masses, they will not be doing it do or die. But this have got to do or die. It's not supposed to be there. They should sit down and arrange themselves, put their houses in order, and stop creating confusion because it's not healthy, because the youth are watching, the elders are watching them and laughing. Because ask yourself two things, money or politics. Are they going to commit or they want to take the politics of Anambra State as a vocation or as a trade? No, they are looking for this as a trade. Or
thank you very much, Mazi. Appreciate your call, Mazi. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much for calling. As you're saying, yes, there are lessons in this for all of us. It seems to be that I don't know how. Both the chairman and commentary, the sound of commentary is that, look, there's nothing wrong with immense resources with which to, it's a legitimate tool. But there should be some responsibility as well. But why the courts that have what they call parallel jurisdiction are issuing all these things? I know judges can't say they can't be scanning newspapers and be scanning television stations and be saying they know that, wait a minute, this has been done here. This one you're bringing, if I should grant your prayer, it will cause confusion. It probably doesn't work like that.
No, most of the politicians are capitalizing on the ignorance of most of the judges. You understand? And one thing is very clear here.
When you say ignorance, you mean the ignorance of the actual issues on ground.
Yes.
Since judges will concern themselves with papers in front of them.
Good.
And the law.
And one thing is very clear here. The INEC is now trying so much to see how it can bring NBA in, bring in the NJC in.
Yes.
To instill ethics and discipline into the litigation brought in by the politicians.
Exactly.
NBA here, their own function is to whip their members, the lawyers.
The professionals. That's the professional association.
You understand? And the NJC is to whip the judges into line. Because it is high time now we begin to look at cases on their merits.
Indeed. One moment, please.
Knocking them down based on technicalities.
Okay. Anthony in Oka, good morning and thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning, sir.
I'm calling from Oka.
Very welcome.
Anambra politics is very enjoyable. In fact, I wish Nigeria will adopt Anambra system. Once it leaves this zone, it will go to the other zone. Because this shows that in every zone you must have the potential. You must have people who can deliver. So now it is Anambra South. I love it. In Anambra politics, you can hear all the whole value about the politicians, but we don't see blood. I love Anambra for that. I pray that the Almighty God will see us through this one. Let's make the campaign, let's do everything, and let's have the peaceful election. I love Anambra.
All right then, thank you very much. A lot of Nigerians love Anambra, not just Anambarians themselves.
Thank you for loving Anambra. We don't hate Anambra.
We're going to have to leave it here. Unfortunately, maybe I need to apologize. Technical issues. We couldn't get, as we had earlier billed, INEC National Commissioner and Chair Information and Voters Education, Mr. Festus Okoye. He had committed to being with us. In fact, we had actually, as we say, seen him, but technicalities and that kind of a thing, when we needed him most, we couldn't get him. But, as you heard off-cuts of what was the situation that he would have been telling us about, because the report is also out there in the press. We'll take a break now. Stay with us, please, and we'll come back and we'll now look at the whole matter of Miyetti Allah Cattle Rearers Association wading into the security issue in Taraba State. That's after we come back from the break. Okay, welcome back, and we still have with us Alhaji Hassan Abdul Aziz Asani. He's a communication specialist, and we now move on to the news where the Emir of Muri in Taraba State caught national attention when he actually issued an ultimatum, a 30-day ultimatum to all the robbers within the forests in their state, bandits, kidnapping. He gave them 30 days or he would do something about it. They would be flushed out. Now, equally, as far as I'm concerned, grabbing national attention too is the Association of Herders have also come out. They've now gone to a meeting with the Emir at his palace. That is the state chair, Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, as reported. Sahabi Mahmoud had gone to the Emir's palace along with 14 of the 16 local government representatives in the place, and sort of had a dialogue with the Emir, saying that he should bear with them, be patient. We will flush out all the criminals among us, using quite dramatic words. Even if it is my biological son, he will be, removed. There's another aspect to the whole situation, which we might also talk about as we look at this particular subject matter. The Miyetti Allah said that we will fish them out. Those that are repentant bandits among them, we will document them. But those that are unrepentant bandits among them, it will be handed over to the authorities, security authorities, to be dealt with. Now, Alaji, that, as you know, has summarized the situation. Most people were surprised. Are you surprised that they were surprised? That Miyetti Allah stepped forward and said, no, this is totally unacceptable. This is not us, and which we shall prove it. Because, there are, maybe unjustifiably, there are those who, are not about to cut Miyetti Allah very much slack.
Mr. Yori, let me first of all start by commending the zeal and leadership prowess of the Emir of Muri. What he said actually aligned or almost aligned with what the governor of Ondo State said. Arakuni Akeredolu, about them. The same thing. He said, let us get to know you. Tell us the criminals in your midst. We knew many of you were here legitimately, but these criminals are giving you bad names. You that are here legitimately, come out and register. Let us know you. And then those ones that are criminals, then we'll not draw a line. The same thing the Emir of Muri said. He said to them, you cannot be here. I'm not denying you as our brother. You are our brother. But I'm doubting your Islamic faith. You cannot come here, be with us, and constitute a problem kidnapping us, taking ransom, raping our women, and doing all sorts of criminalities. If that is the case, we are going to draw a line. And there was an addendum to it, in which he said, look, he gave a reference to one district head that is backing the bandits. He said to them, he said, look, a district head was found guilty of conniving with the bandits. He was arrested. Police released him back to the society. This is unfair, and this is unjustifiable, and it will never be tolerated by me.
Okay, that's the Emir. It's not just unfair, it's insincere.
No, the issue is very clear here. You see, that is leadership qualities.
Okay.
A leader should call a spade a spade. A leader should have self-confidence. A leader should speak with candor, which he did, and I commend him for that.
Indeed. And quite frankly, I imagine
there are some traditional rulers that are like that in this country. I can mention some few. I'm very sorry for not mention all of them. Like Emir of Kano recently, when our president went to Kano for a project, AKK project, and he paid a courtesy call at the Emir's palace. After the courtesies and pleasantries, after commending him for his achievement, for his infrastructural development all over the country, for improving a lot in the country, but he did not forget to tell him one thing, that look, people are suffering. You see, for you as a leader, what is lucky in this country is for people to look the leadership straight in the eyes and tell it the home truth.
Okay, and certainly the Emir of Muri is, he's one of the, good ones.
And you have people like Awujale,
yes,
of Ijabuland.
Yes.
You understand? And Sultan of Sokoto also.
I am worried. Let me tell you my worry. I don't understand the concept of a repentant bandit. I don't understand that concept.
Mr. Yori, my own perception is as good as yours.
Because
do you know what's really happening? I don't see repentance in. You see, call them. Mr. Yori, allow me to say it.
Okay.
Call them by their names. Call them abrovers. You understand? And dish out a punishment for them. These repentance, I don't understand. Repenting for how? For killing many people? For impoverishing many people? For doing what? The law is there to take its course.
Exactly. But let me come back and talk about that. Mr. George, thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for
calling. And good morning to Alaji Hassan.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Uncle Yori, I'm at a loss as to the basis of Miyetti Allah reacting to the charge of the Emir. The Emir was addressing bandits and all criminals in his state. He did not make reference to Miyetti Allah. And Miyetti Allah came reacting, holding a meeting with him. Is Miyetti Allah telling us that they are the criminals in that state? That's number one. They are telling the Emir that he should hold brief. He should allow them to do the sifting. This Miyetti Allah group are giving the impression that they are the bandits. If that is true, the government needs to step in now. The government needs to call Miyetti Allah to order. If they can come out, if an Emir is saying criminals in his state should leave, or I will take action against them, and they come out and start posing as if they are the criminals, the government should address them,
okay,
and treat them the way they should be treated.
Thank you for calling in, Mr. George. Let me try and address those issues. First of all, do you have anything that you'd like to say about that sort of premise that Mr. George constructed? That why it's a bit surprising why Miyetti Allah is reacting. Why did they react when he was talking about criminals and speaking directly to criminals, not to Miyetti Allah? Is it because they are hiding among the herders?
No. With apology to Mr. George, there's a need for us to understand the language very well so that we can interpret whatsoever very well. I saw the video. The Emir was referring specifically to the bandits, Bororo.
So why did Miyetti Allah show up?
Bororo are Fulanis within the Fulanis. So the Emir was not referring to all the criminals. He was so particular about the Bororo. You understand?
Which is a subset within the Fulanis.
They are Fulanis. It's the dialect. They have different dialects within the Fulanis. You understand? Those ones, they have mostly people, criminals and what have you. And he said, I'm not disowning you.
Yes.
As our brother.
Yeah.
You understand? As our brothers. But let me tell you, let us get to know you. People that are doing legitimate business,
cattle herding,
let us get to know them. The criminals among you, we are going to draw a line. And we're going to deal with you.
As you say, he said that they're brothers, but we won't tolerate criminality.
Yes.
Are these Nigerian Fulanis?
The issue is this: I'm not in a position to answer.
I can imagine.
No, I'm not in a position to say.
As you know, Fulanis all along the coast of West Africa. So, and
No, we have Bororos in Nigeria, the indigents.
Okay.
We have them. You understand? So for me to come here now and be telling you that these ones are foreigners, this one is for the Miyetti Allah to do that. Miyetti Allah can differentiate them.
Give me your impression on the Miyetti Allah. How good a job do you think they can do? They are saying that we will flush them out. How good a job do you think they can do?
No, Miyetti Allah is an association. For you to be an association, you must know your members.
Okay. Okay.
The inner workings, the people that are there. So the Miyetti Allah is not just situated in a capital or a local government, no. It's spread all over where they are. They have their people all over the place, all over the space.
And it's interesting that in Taraba, they say 14 of the 16 local councils, the representatives, Fulani representatives, were all there at the Emir's palace. So it's shooting a sort of unanimity of voice. But let me quickly take Donald. Donald, you've been holding on for quite a while. Apologies, sir, in Abulegba. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning.
And good morning, Alaji.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be with you people once again today.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, Mr. Yori, I think you guys are doing a very good job there. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the Emir. I believe his voice has gone into the good voices of this country. He has spoken, and the truth about the situation in this country have started coming out. I can see now that the whole Nigerians now will not see that it is this Miyetti Allah that have been causing these problems all over the country. That an Emir rose up to challenge, according to the challenge in the state and in the whole federation, that is going to take an action. That is when now the people came up now to say that he should hold break. We should try to call a spade a spade. This country has sucking too much blood. So many lives have been wasted. Who are those people that is doing it? Nigerians are dying every day. Taraba state now there's no peace in the country, in the whole of the state, for quite some time now. The Emir should be praised.
Indeed.
He's a man.
Thank you very much.
And we want more people like him
Indeed.
to speak up from the north, from other states in the northern state of this country. They should come up like this so that this mayhem can be cured once and for all.
Thank you very much, Donald.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your call. And as you know, Alhaji Hassan was saying, there's more than a handful of them. Those kind of people, such as the Emir. Now, something else I want to bring out. The Miyetti Allah, in reacting to the Emir at the meeting, are reported to have said that we will just give us some time. We will flush these people out, no matter who their sponsors are. I was particularly grabbed by this whole matter about sponsors. He even went further to say, even if he is my, clearly it must have been the speaker referring to himself, even if he's my biological son. Now, I understand about the biological son, say we shall do this thing with detachment. But no matter who their sponsors are, suggests that these bandits are not operating haphazardly on their own.
Missouri, in every criminality you see, there must be a sponsor. And but more especially a sophisticated criminality, where you see AK-47, you see GPMG, you understand, you see RGP and co. Somebody must be bankrolling. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody in government or somebody in opposition, or no. Somebody that took that line as a business. Look, let me tell you one thing. Mostly, when I always have a look at the interrogation of the bandits, both of them, you see them, we kidnapped in social place, we collected 30 million. You understand? 30 million, and the kidnap was, the kidnappers that participated in the kidnap were so in number, 10 of them. Mm-hmm. Then they will now begin to give a graphic picture of how much each and every one of them got. You understand? You now see that out of 30 million, what each and every one of them got it was not up to 10 million naira out of 30 million. Where is the remaining 20 million? Who takes the remaining 20 million? That shows you a sponsor takes the 20 million. It is now the job of the intelligence agencies to unravel,
unmask,
or unmask
these sponsors.
They are masquerade.
Okay, one moment, sir.
That is giving us sleep.
Reverend Dominic, thank you for holding on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief Jory. Good morning, my friend, dear Sani, Alhaji Sani.
Good morning, Reverend.
Now, let's go back to this truth. Chief Jory, listen to me. Let me sound like a broken record. I've said this in 1,000 times over. And let me go straight. I'm pleading to Alhaji Sani, a very intelligent man from the north, to go back and join forces with the Emir of this Taraba. And the Emirs and the chiefs and the businessmen of the north, political businessmen, if they come together today to say enough is enough, there will be no more kidnapping. How is it we are selling our children and buying them at will? We are talking about kidnapping in Taraba, kidnapping in Kaduna, taking ransom in Taraba, taking ransom in Kaduna, and we say we don't know them. Senator Sani have told us the two names that terrorized Kaduna. Those two names were very known to Northerners and the security men. My friend Alhaji, we misunderstood last time about the same issue. When the Southern governor said that everybody in the desert or in the forest should come out, let's know them. Alhaji Sani here, it's on record, that they could have gone to Buhari and take excuse before they make decision in the south. And I counter him on that issue. Here's my good friend. There is no crime here. The crime here is from state government and the emirs and the businessmen in the north. How do I say that? Last week, over 100 Boko Haram repented. You know that means what they call repented. We are sent back to Maiduguri and hand over to the governor. Watch me. They did it secretly. When I saw those men, they were taken back to Maiduguri and repented, Boko Haram. They were wearing white suits. They are wearing canvas. I remember we cannot buy. Why they have made people to go to ID card who cannot feed in? We are putting white coat on this dependent Boko Haram, putting canvas on their legs, giving them white stocking, and they wear shaped What kind of a nation is this?
Okay, Reverend Dominic, I thank you very much. We've run out of time, but thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Alaji, I'll give you the last word.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me.
Yeah, I thought you might want to react to that, but if not, would you say the skies are looking a bit clearer now in terms of the security situation in the north, especially if advice is adhered to? This Emir of Muri, Abbas Kafida, others like him that are, abound in the north, if they also now, as it were, stand up and be counted, that we can have clearer skies.
Yes. It's not only in the north. You see, we have security challenges all over the country. You see, when you are restricting it to a side, and that side can be located within the map of Nigeria, it will be very, very good for you to generalize it with the whole country, because we have criminals all over the country. and are we ready?
Yes.
In the southwest
to unmask the sponsors all over the place, not just in the north, not just in Taraba.
Do you know what?
Because we got to go now.
The issue is
very briefly, please.
It's about us.
Yes.
All of us should come together. You understand? And fight it head on.
Okay. I take that, and don't be localizing the matter.
No, the localization. If you want the localization, I will tell you. In the south here, take care of the cultists.
Okay, all right.
The cultists are here.
Okay,
right.
I want to thank you very much, Alhaji Hassan Abdulaziz Sani, communications professional and opinion molder. And we also extend our thanks to Mr. Ralph Okemosu earlier, national chairman of ADC, and we sort of apologize that we couldn't get Mr. Festus Okoye on the program, but I'm sure he's going to make up for it. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.